Good morning, members of council and guests. I'd like to call this meeting for Wednesday, September 24th to order. Members of council, the region of Durham exists on lands that the Mississauga and Anishinaabeg inhabited for thousands of years prior to European colonization. These lands are the traditional and treaty territories of the nations covered under the Williams Treaties, including the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, Alderville First Nation, Hiawatha First Nation, Curve Lake First Nation, and the Chippewa Nations of Georgina Island, Beausoleil, and Rama. We honor, recognize, and respect the Indigenous peoples as the right holders and the stewards of the lands and the waters on which we have the privilege to live. In our efforts towards reconciliation, we continue to build and strengthen relationships with First Nations as well as large Métis communities, growing Inuit communities here in Durham. We commit to learning from Indigenous values and knowledge, building opportunities for collaboration, and recognizing that we are all connected. Now, if you're able, please rise for our national anthem and a moment of personal reflection. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, a roll call, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Electronic roll call is starting now.
We have quorum, Mr. Clerk. Members of council, Mayor Roy is not in attendance today, and her representative would be Councillor Steve Lee. Is he online? And he is online. Good morning, Councillor Lee. Members of council, before you today on your desks are two new publications, the Relocation Guide and Open Skies. The Relocation Guide was created by the Greater Oshawa Chamber of Commerce with the primary funding from Durham Region's Economic Development and Tourism Strategy, Ready, Set, Future. Outlined activities to help make Durham a leader in workforce skills, education, and education attainment. This includes attracting talented people to our region and helping businesses attract talented employees so they can grow and succeed. This guide expertly guides our new residents through Durham Region's everything they need to know to get settled and connect with the community. The region supported by providing an overall narrative ensuring that all 8 municipalities are represented and ensuring the guide is inclusive and represents our diverse communities. It will be distributed to companies, mailed with investor packets, and shared with partners and can even be used for family doctor attraction. The Open Skies is Durham Tourism's new discovery guide. It was rapidly developed entirely in-house by regional staff Jackie Severs, Alona Topolinski, Lisa McKenzie, Brooke Edward, and Chelsea Lawrence. It is in the process of being printed and will be distributed to over 100,000 households, also online. There has recently been a big rise in domestic tourism, and Canadians look to spend their travel dollars here in Canada. And we hope that Open Skies will help Canadians discover Durham's urban excitement and country charm, attracting tourism to our great locally owned and operated restaurants, stores, recreational activities. Operators will support entrepreneurs, both downtowns and rural economies, and sustain local jobs. You can help us promote the guide by sharing the link online at durhamtourism.ca/discover. Also, I'd like to recognize another member of our staff, Elaine Gardner, who is a case coordinator in the Settlementine Income, Employment, and Homeless Supports Division, IEHSD, Social Services Department, and the regional municipality of Durham, and she was awarded a King Charles III Coronation Medal. Mr. Clerk, I believe we need to do pecuniary interests. Mr. Clerk, I'll go first. 10.1, I have a conflict as my daughter and son-in-law are both serving officers in the Canadian Armed Forces. And the other challenge I have, Mr. Clerk, is my screen's gone blank. Now, some may say it's not blank and it might be me, but so in that case, conflicts in the room, just put your hand up. Councillor Gerard?
I have a conflict on the same issue on the same report. 10.1 is my son-in-law is a member of the Canadian Armed Forces.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Cook?
Conflict. My husband is a veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces.
Okay, online? Okay, Mayor Jubb?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also am going to declare under 10.1 as I am a veteran of the Canadian Armed Forces. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Chapman?
Morning, Mr. Chair. I'm going to declare under 10.1 as both myself and my wife are veterans of the Canadian Armed Forces.
I should have said retired Colonel Chapman, but I apologize. Members of Council, we'll just... Mayor Collier online. I apologize. My screen's not up yet, so go ahead, please.
Chair, same on 10.1. I'm also a veteran, and my daughter is currently serving in the Canadian Armed Forces.
Okay, thank you. Excellent, thank you. That's everyone on this screen, Mr. Clerk. Okay, thank you, members of council. We'll move on to adoption of the minutes. I'd like to move 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3 all at the same time. Councillor Chapman as moving, Mayor Foster as the seconder. On all sets of minutes, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. Now, presentations. I'm incredibly excited for what Mr. Hubble, Director of Environmental Services, is going to do. But I asked that a video be shown today at council featuring the sledgehammers. Now, Durham's wastewater professionals team, the Sledgehammers, competed in the 2025 Operations Challenge at the Water Environment Association of Ontario Conference in London in April. And they proudly represent Durham Region and face off against teams from across Ontario in 5 tough events. The team captain, when I call your name, just put your hand up for us so council can see who you are. Andy Griffin, coach is Andy Griffin, captain Adam Hubbers, Kirk Gonzalez, Matt Moffat, and Kevin Round were declared provincial champions for the 4th straight time. Now I'm going to ask Mike Hubble, Director of Environmental Services, speak more about the economy. How can somebody not be excited about this subject?
So thank you, Chair Henry and Council, for inviting the team here today and for acknowledging this amazing team's success. We do have a video presentation, and then after the video, I will close out our time with a few remarks.
Sledgehammers are a team of competitive operators who travel around and we compete against other municipalities, basically for bragging rights. So it's a lot of fun.
My name is Adam Hubers. I am a Chief Maintenance Operator at the Uxbridge Brook Water Pollution Control Plant.
My name is Kevin Round. I've been with the region 4.5 years and I'm a maintenance operator.
My name is Kurt Gonzalez. I'm a maintenance operator at Duffin Creek.
My name is Matt Moffett. I'm an instrumentation and control technician, and I've been with the region for 13 years.
WEO this year was at London. It's been growing over the last few years. This year we had 8 teams. It's really a competitive atmosphere, but it's also a very welcoming atmosphere.
We go to the conference specifically for the challenge. In past years, we've also sat in on presentations and things like that. It's great for networking, learning about the industry, all the changes.
It's a collaboration of other municipalities as well as vendors and suppliers.
The volunteers and everyone that's been involved with this for years have always done a great job.
A lot of it is mostly focused around equipment and new technologies for process control.
Our strengths are that our team's very well varied. So some of us are better at computer, better at exam writing. Some of us are better with tools.
For the 5 events, there's a process exam, which isn't really much fun.
It's meant to be an insanely hard exam that you almost can't complete in the time frame.
The lab event is cool. There's a lot of stuff that I don't normally do.
I think we enjoy doing the safety event the most, which is one where we have a simulated platform with a cut manhole in the top of it.
We repair a valve and retrieve a dummy that's at the bottom of the well.
It's a lot of movement. We're all doing very different, unique roles, but they blend together really well. There's a lot of crossing over. We know exactly where we all are at every point in time.
Maintenance event is we rebuild a pump from spare parts and then put it back into a well.
The next event is a collection event where it seems to be the fan favorite. So we cut 2 sections out of a pipe and bring one side over to the other, repair it. At the same time, there's a big tall tower that's being built.
And that all happens in about a minute and a half. It's probably one of my favorite ones.
So for a long time, we didn't really have much competition, but now they're all kind of starting to look at us as the number one, and they're all aiming for us.
We knew it was going to be close.
And in first place is your Sledgehammers.
We were feeling of all the years, this might be the one someone caught us, but we were able to keep it at the top.
We were pretty proud of ourselves when they called us up, for sure.
It's always good to win. No one likes to lose.
It was great. A little stressful, but it was good to get the win.
This year we won the process event as well, which is a very challenging event.
I'd like to thank Durham Region for being able to support us in all the ways that they do.
We send a lot of volunteers. The region also helps to sponsor the conference.
Not just the plant or the staff, it's the whole region kind of gets behind us for the works department. So we have people in finance kind of ordering all of our stuff, upland management's making sure that our approvals go through for registration or travel.
The region of Durham in general, I'd like to thank specifically Mike Hubble, John Presta before him. Both of those guys were very involved and very supportive.
So yeah, it's a whole organization that kind of comes along and helps us be the team that we are.
Well, thank you. So annually, as you've learned, the Sledgehammers compete against other Ontario operators to earn the right to represent Ontario at an operations challenge that's held in the U.S. Teams from around the world compete in the U.S. The last event that we went to in 2023, there was teams there from Colombia, Denmark, Finland, Germany, the UK, and lots of teams from across the U.S., all the big cities, the New Yorks, the LAs, the Bostons, as well as some teams from Canada. There's 2 teams from Ontario there, and there's a couple teams from Western Canada. So in 2021, the Sledgehammers won, and they represented Durham and Ontario proudly by finishing 18th in their division in the U.S. In 2022, they again won Ontario, and they went down and improved their finish in the U.S., and they finished 7th overall in their division. In 2023, they won Ontario again, and they went down to the U.S., and they came first place in their division in the U.S. So like soccer, winning comes with a promotion. So the team has now earned the right to compete at the highest division, okay, which is reserved for the top 10 teams in the world. And these are the top 10 teams from Germany, New York, LA. It's the biggest and the best, and when we're in that number. So in 2024, we went back to Ontario again. The team won again. But they had to deal with some adversity and were not able to compete in the U.S. this time around in the Premier League. That adversity included 3 babies and 1 broken leg. So a good reason that the team didn't go to compete. So in 2025, again this year in London, the team won, but due to the current political climate, the team wasn't able to go to the U.S. to compete in the Premier Division. So now they were also acknowledged as one of the top teams in the world, and they were invited to another operations challenge, which was the International Water Association Challenge, which is held every 2 years at somewhere in the world. The team had a pretty solid couple of days there and ended up coming first overall. So first in the world, not just the US or Canada or Ontario, but first in the world. So the team is hoping to defend their #1 in the world title at next year's event. We are so very proud of our team. It truly takes a village. We have got great support from our partners in finance and communications, who's helping putting together this and other videos for us. And nobody cheers louder than all the incredible water and wastewater operators and staff we have here at Durham. So competing in these challenges has many benefits to Durham Region. #1, we get to showcase on a world stage our incredible talent, which has a direct and positive impact on recruitment. People want to come work at Durham to be a part of our winning team. We get to demonstrate on an international level our strong work ethic and tremendous pride we take in serving our community. These are the attributes that attract people, businesses, and visitors to live, work, and play in Durham. We get to promote the amazing career opportunities that exist at Durham Region by sharing their experiences with our local schools. We take these videos into our schools and we show them the career choices and options that they have available for them later in life. We start as early as grade 3. The team also get to develop and expand their skills for not only their day-to-day operations, but also for employment advancement. I can tell you that the positive impact that the team has on our workplace culture is immeasurable. Finally, supporting the team here today is our operations management team and our QP 1785 senior leadership team, which has joined us as well. We all work together to support the team, which helps build a strong relationship between management and our wonderful union team. Thank you very much again for recognizing this team and all that it does for Durham Region. I did raid our trophy case, which I've got out front here that we'll unveil, and I'm hoping we get some photos of the team that are all dressed up today with their trophies. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Mayor Foster, on this item?
Sir. Mr. Chair, thank you. What a fantastic, Mike, before you go
Mike,
away,
just wait 1 second, please.
just really, really quickly, what a fantastic way of starting the day. My trophy case looks almost like that, not. So to all, thank you. Given that we are the champions, and I'd like to break into, the Queen song, but I won't do that to you. What's the potential? Do we need to do something here to bring the world to the home of champions, to Durham Region for a competition?
Well, we would have to convince the Water Environment Association of Ontario to host the event in Durham Region, which we can do. It usually is in Niagara Falls or in London, Ontario, but we can work with them to help have the conference here. It would be good for economic development, tourism, everything. Yeah.
Perhaps something that comes up at works, Mr. Chair, but if there's support required from this council, I suspect we would all love, and we would love to watch you guys in action. Mr. Chair, thank you.
And before you leave, our residents in Durham Region, they don't understand the workings of the inner infrastructure of our region. They just are happy when they get up in the morning and the tap works and everything else works. I didn't want to say that. But the work that you do to make the lives of our residents and live that dream in Durham Region is simply amazing. And it's not just you guys. You are amazing, but there isn't a department in this region that doesn't make a difference in the lives of our residents, and you're not often thanked in the way that you should. So I will lead, and members of council, feel free to join me. And now I would take advantage of that door if you choose, or you can stay for the day. Okay. Now, we have another great presentation coming up next. And after this presentation, I'm going to ask for a 15-minute recess so we can take some questions out in the hallway and take some photos. But today, I'd like to invite Janet Nolan, Supervisor, Service Durham, and Claire Kumar, Regional Director, Canadian Hidden Disabilities Sunflower, for the launch of the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. Go ahead, Barb.
Good morning, Chair and members of Council. As Commissioner of Corporate Services, I am proud to introduce an important initiative that reflects our commitment to accessibility, inclusion, and service excellence across Durham Region. Today, the Service Durham Division will present the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program, a globally recognized initiative designed to make our services more inclusive and supportive for individuals with non-visible disabilities. This program empowers residents and staff alike, fostering dignity, respect, and understanding in every interaction. The Sunflower Program is a simple yet powerful way to signal that someone may need extra assistance, patience, or understanding. By adopting this program, Durham Region joins a growing network of organizations worldwide that are breaking down barriers and building more accessible communities. I am pleased to welcome Janet Nolan, a supervisor with Corporate Services, Service Durham, and Claire Kumar, Regional Director for the Canadian HDSP, who will share more about the program and its impact on our residents and staff. Please join me in welcoming Janet and Claire.
So thank you, Barb. Good morning, Chair, members of Council. Thank you again for providing us with the opportunity today to speak with you. My name is Janet Nolan, Supervisor of Corporate Services, Service Durham. And with me, I have Claire Kumar, Regional Director, Canada Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. We're pleased to share more about the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. It is designed, again, as Barb said, to make our services more inclusive, supportive, and accessible for individuals with non-visible disabilities. And I believe we have to do this ourselves. Yes. Okay. So we might question, why is this important? Globally, 1 in 6 people live with a disability, a number that continues to rise due to aging populations and advances in medical care. Of those, up to 80% are living with a non-visible disability. So bringing this closer to home, according to 2021 Durham Region Accessibility Report, the region has a population of more than 700,000 people, and of this, 22% of our community members identify as having at least one disability. That's approximately 154,000 residents of Durham Region. This includes over 500 regional staff members who live with a disability as well. It is estimated that many of these residents are living with disabilities that are not immediately apparent, but they can have significant impact on daily life and access to services. The Accessible Canada Act acknowledges that disabilities, whether visible or not, can create a barrier to full participation in society. So for many disabilities that are not visible can often be misunderstood or overlooked. Those living with a disability make up the largest minority group in the world. And it is one of the minority groups that any one of us can join at any time. So these stats remind us of the importance of building services that are inclusive, respectful, and accessible for all. We might ask ourselves, sorry, we're going next. We might ask ourselves, how many non-visible disabilities are there? Many people associate a disability with something that they can see, such as an individual using an assistive device, like a wheelchair or a cane. But the reality is a large number of disabilities are not visible at all. Currently, 912 hidden disabilities, conditions, and chronic illnesses are listed on the Global Index, and that number continues to grow as awareness and understanding expand. Non-visible disabilities can be described as temporary, such as a recovery from surgery or short-term injuries, situational, such as difficulty processing in a noisy environment, or permanent, such as a chronic illness or neurological condition. And they can affect neurological, cognitive, or neurodevelopmental function, physical, visual, auditory, sensory, and processing abilities, respiratory or chronic health conditions. And just because we can't see a disability doesn't mean it isn't there. Each person's experience is different, and these conditions can affect daily life, energy levels, communication, and access needs. Just as these conditions vary, so do the access needs and daily barriers individuals may encounter. The Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program provides options to wear the sunflower, like this, as a signal to someone may need extra assistance, patience, understanding, and more time. And the sunflower is for anyone who needs it. That's our staff and our residents, customers, every day of the year. It reminds us that not all challenges are visible, but awareness makes access possible. By learning about non-visible disabilities, we increase understanding and empathy, we support inclusive environments, and we ensure that everyone feels seen and respected, whether their disability is visible or not. The sunflower is not about the condition, it's about the person, their dignity, and their right to access. The Hidden Disability Sunflower Program, again, is a globally recognized initiative that provides a way for individuals with non-visible disabilities to signal that they may need extra help, understanding, or more time in public spaces. The green and yellow sunflower design is bright enough to be recognized, but remains a subtle visual cue. It symbolizes positivity and strength while gently indicating that the wearer may require additional support. Why it matters is because the program is so powerful. It helps break down invisible barriers. It creates a more inclusive and supportive environment. It helps individuals engage with greater confidence and reassures them that staff will respond with patience, empathy, and understanding. For the Sunflower program to work effectively, there are 2 key roles. There's a wearer, so we have our green and yellow sunflower, and there's a supporter lanyard, which is the white background. Wearers are individuals with hidden disabilities. They choose to wear the sunflower pin or lanyard as a subtle signal that they may need extra time, patience, and support while accessing our regional services. Participation in wearing that pin is voluntary, and giving individuals the confidence to seek assistance without having to repeatedly explain their conditions. As supporters, these are trained regional staff. Their role is to respond with empathy, understanding, and practical support. And they represent the region's visible commitment to creating an inclusive and supportive customer experience. Only trained supporters or self-identified wearers should wear these items. Together, wearers and supporters bring the Sunflower program to life, one by asking for help with confidence, and the other by responding with understanding. Oh, we missed a slide. Apologies. Since its launch in 2016, the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower program has been widely adopted in airports, municipalities, transportation services, and customer service points around the world. Over the years, participation has grown across sectors such as retail, travel, healthcare, education, public services, and sports and leisure, most notably in transport, with more than 300 airports, railway networks, coach and bus services, and ferries now a part of that network. The program has been launched in countries across the globe. Examples, Australia, Brazil, Denmark, Canada, Latin America, the Netherlands, UK, and the US. No matter where people travel, again, the sunflower is increasingly recognized as a universal symbol of hidden disabilities. Here at home, we're proud to see the strong leadership from within our region, Durham Region Transit, and the town of Ajax. Over here. Both are members of the Sunflower Network. Their participation shows how municipalities and transit services in Durham are taking meaningful steps to improve accessibility and inclusion. This local adoption strengthens awareness and ensures that residents experience the benefits of the program close to home and not just abroad. From global airports to the town of Ajax, DRT, and to our own public counters leading locally, the Sunflower is breaking down barriers and building a more inclusive world, one community at a time. So what does this program mean for our customers? The program helps ensure greater dignity, reduce stress, and a more positive service experience. It empowers customers to seek assistance without needing to repeatedly again explain their condition. And for our staff, the Sunflower provides a clear and consistent visual cue. It helps our staff know when to adjust their communication style, pace, and environment. And it reinforces the skills and awareness developed through training, giving staff more confidence when interacting with customers and colleagues who may have unique needs. Ultimately, the program strengthens Service Durham's commitment to empathetic, respectful, and inclusive customer service. It's a step forward in ensuring accessibility and inclusion are embedded in everything we do. So what have we accomplished so far? The program itself launched internally on September 8th, and I'm proud to share that 100% of our staff and leadership have completed, yes, thank you, missed again. Leadership have completed the required training. We ensured that all of our public front counter locations were equipped with our supporter materials, including pins, stickers, and posters, and these materials help to raise awareness and signal our visible commitment to the program. Today marks our next big milestone with the official public launch. Leading up to today, we began media outreach and in-person promotion at our counters in Ajax, Whitby, Oshawa, and Uxbridge. And with this presentation, we are formally launching the program publicly. Following this meeting, we will be sharing personal testimonials outside council chambers. This will highlight both staff and customer perspectives on their lived experience with hidden disabilities and the Sunflower program. These will highlight, the storytelling is a powerful way to build empathy and understanding in our community. Finally, starting today, customers can request a wearer pin on our new Sunflower program service request. The form is available on the Sunflower webpage on durham.ca. It provides an easy, accessible way for community members and staff to connect with the program. So as next steps, perfect. We will continue working closely with regional divisions and local area municipalities. The goal is to expand the program adoption beyond our initial rollout. Collaboration ensures consistency, shared resources, and a stronger presence across the region. Second, we'll be providing ongoing awareness and refresher training for our staff. This keeps accessibility and inclusion front of mind and ensures confidence in supporting residents. Training is not just a one-time effort, it's an ongoing commitment. Third, we will be measuring program impact. This includes gathering staff feedback and monitoring customer satisfaction surveys. These measures will help us understand where the program is working well and where adjustments may be needed. Finally, we are looking to Council's support in championing this initiative by sharing information about the Hidden Disability Sunflower Program with your constituents, encouraging them to submit a service request for a wear pin if they require assistance. Your leadership is key in helping us embed the Sunflower Program across the region. With your support, we can continue to foster a culture of accessibility and inclusion. Together, through collaboration, training, measurement, and leadership, we can ensure this program continues to grow and deliver meaningful impact for our staff and for our residents. With this, questions, I know you had said we want to do that outside, or you open it up here. Okay.
Council questions? Seeing none. Claire, did you want to add anything before we go outside?
Just a great appreciation for the commitment in Durham Region, and an open opportunity at any point to reach out to me with questions about how to extend it. I think your residents, you're going to find, I think I've already heard you're finding that people are ready to talk about more about what they need, and the cue, this is a cue for compassion. So I think you'll start to see the effects, especially with your employees as well as your residents. So I'm again deeply appreciative and look forward to Durham Region continuing to lead the way. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. On that note, I'll look for a 15-minute recess, moved by Councillor Shahid, seconded by Councillor Cook. And I do mean, members of council, 15 minutes. So on that, I will call the vote, and we will assemble out in the hallway. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, we are in recess.
reflected in the budget on the screen. The first objective was investment lead generation, which is reflected through the procured lead generation services and business events that we funded. The second core objective was to create brand awareness of Durham. The largest portion of the budget was dedicated to this through the booth itself, marketing materials, a comprehensive marketing campaign, and the Project Arrow concept car. Now, there were questions at committee and a member's motion being considered today regarding further detail on the accounting, with specific interest in travel and accommodation. Please find a list on your screen of the items included in this category. It included accommodations, which we selected the most affordable option that met our needs, economy class airfare booked as a group through a travel agency located here in Durham, coach bus transportation for the group to and from airports on each end to save on mileage, parking, and taxis. Meals and in-city transportation were a relatively small component of this category, and no alcohol was expensed. Staff complied with the region's conferences, conventions, and meetings policy for expenses. And lastly, a $10,000 contingency placeholder is located in this category for any remaining invoices that may still need to be coded or processed, which at this point we expect will largely not be needed. This constituted the other label in the category heading. And overall, I am very pleased to report that the project was delivered $176,000 under the approved budget. To talk more about some of the great outcomes we achieved at this conference, I'll pass it over to my colleague, Ms. Broderick.
Good morning, Chair, Regional Councillors. As part of Council's approval to attend Hanover Messe 2025, a number of metrics were also approved for us to achieve while we attended Hanover Messe 2025. The metrics on the screen, I'm proud to say, were, for the most part, exceeded or significantly exceeded. With respect to new connections, the target was achieved almost threefold. How were we able to achieve that? Through various meetings, presentations, panel discussions, attendance of networking sessions, and of course, multiple visits to our booth due to the attraction of Project Arrow, which you saw on earlier slides. This is an important point to note because of those approximately 1,300 people, most of which had never heard of Durham, Project Arrow, or some of our post-secondary partners. So this we see as a significant achievement. I will speak to leads and site selection in slides that will follow this one. I'll go next to the Senior Government Relationships Advanced. Again, we were able to exceed our target in this regard, where we met with key federal and provincial ministry representatives from the Departments of Innovation, Science, Economic Development, NGEN, Global Affairs Canada, and Trade Commissioner Services in the targeted markets where we seek to attract investment. We also met with several investment agencies, including Invest in Canada, as well as investment agencies Invest BC, Invest Alberta, which are actually really important for us to have relationships with as we seek to develop a trade diversification strategy for the region and ensure our businesses not only trade internationally, but also within Canada. We also met with Invest Ontario, MedCat, which is the Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade, and the Business Council of Canada. Upon our return, we pooled our delegation to assess the effectiveness of representing Durham Region overall, as well as them being able to achieve their organizational goals. And you can see that we had 100% achievement in respect of those targets. The other target that we set out to achieve was having at least 5 Canadian and/or international ministers visit our booth, and I'm proud to say we even had the Chancellor of Germany, the then Chancellor of Germany, Olaf Scholz, visit our booth, along with the Prime Minister of Lower Saxony, Stephen Weil, and Canada's Ambassador to the EU, Dr. Eilish Campbell. In terms of the marketing that Alana has already spoken to, in this area, we significantly exceeded our targets. If you look at the digital impressions, you'll see almost 3 million compared to 350, and we had over 10,000 visits to our website. I'm now going to focus on the outcomes we were able to achieve through attending Hannover Messe. In this picture, you'll see a photo of a slide presentation that shows smart solutions. This was as a result of an event, a targeted marketing session that we hosted or co-hosted with one of our economic partners, the City of Nuremberg's Economic Development Department and the Nuremberg Chamber of Commerce. The Smart Solutions for a Common Future event was a primarily marketing event to bring together Canadian companies and German companies that attended Hannover Messe. Our welcome was done by head of our delegation, Mayor Kevin Ash, and we received two presentations, one by Professor Les Jacobs from Ontario Tech, who demonstrated how in Durham our academic institutions work with companies that are in the region on workforce development, talent development, as well as shared information on the ACE Climatic Wind Tunnel and Project Arrow. In terms of our awareness, I've already spoken to what the Common Future event that we held, so I'm now going to focus primarily on the 19 meetings that Jessica had alluded to. In order to attend Hannover Messe, one of the key things that we sought to do was meet with companies who were interested in investing in Canada. We were able to put together a calendar of over 19 meetings, which were made up of what we call business-to-business, B2B meetings, or G2G meetings, which were largely with institutions, economic development agencies from across the globe, as well as universities and colleges. We arranged this through the services of two lead generation service providers, and we asked them to focus on meetings in our priority sectors, which are next generation mobility, applied digital technology, future energy, arts, culture and the creative, and agri-food. These meetings are categorized by either primary leads or secondary leads. The majority of the meetings we asked to be participating in were around what we call primary leads. A primary lead is where a company has expressed interest in investing in either North America, Canada, and Ontario, is considering setting up operations here, and must have a time frame of 3 to 5 years, and employees of over 50. The meetings that we held, which were primary leads, were mainly in advanced manufacturing, clean energy, applied digital tech, and next generation mobility. The other meetings that we held were primarily G2G, or with, as I indicated, other economic development agencies, as well as research and development institutions. This you'll see is a picture of the then German Chancellor in Project Arrow, as well as Professor Brendan McDonald, who also presented at the Smart Solutions event. And Brendan was able to demonstrate how, through the support of the Durham economic development ecosystem, he was able to translate an R&D project on the Stirling engine into a commercialized idea to produce green steel. Again, this is just a summary of the visit by the German Chancellor, Project Arrow, and important to note that our post-secondary partners were also able to meet international organizations and have since signed several collaboration agreements with some of their partners in Europe. It's just a photo of us with the Secretary from Saxony. In conclusion, Chair, the main reason why we attended Hannover Messe was brand awareness and, of course, investment attraction. We are proud to note, if you saw the metric earlier, we were tasked by Council to ensure that we meet with at least 5 companies who are interested in setting up business in Canada, Ontario, and specifically Durham region. With respect to investment attraction, we diligently work to ensure that this is a major outcome. We were able to exceed this target and have 6 companies who are considering Durham as their next place to expand and invest, and one of those companies will be visiting us in November 2025. This is a notable achievement, especially considering the current investment climate, where foreign direct investment faces several uncertainties in North America due to US tariffs. And secondly, I'd like to point out that the investment runway is generally 19 to 36 months before a decision is made. So we are proud to say at Hanover Messe we were able to get 6 companies that were interested in doing that, and we're excited to demonstrate why Durham region is a great place to live, work, learn, and play. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. We'll go to questions. Mayor Carter.
First of all, good morning, sir. Mr. Gill, first of all, impressive presentation to your team. Thank you very much. I think you guys did an incredible job. I know that we're joined online today by Councillor Marin-Pietri that was with you. And just to let you know, Mr. Chair, Councillor Marin-Pietri is in Ottawa. He was in Ottawa yesterday. He was a guest to be at an event for the ambassador of Germany, and was in his company last night, and of course is there trying to leverage Durham region as we speak. So I thank Councillor Marin-Pietri for being there and also to be a part of your team. Simon, just out of curiosity, a couple of things. One is, how important did you think it was that we attended this particular event based upon where the world is economically right at this particular time? When you look at it, how important was it in your opinion?
Yeah, thank you very much for the question, and through you, Chair. Before the start of this year, we felt it was incredibly important, which is why we came a year in advance, seeking approval to go big on this particular one, because we knew that we could and should be a central part of the story of Canada's prosperity and economic opportunity in clean energy and advanced electrified automotive. But then, of course, as we all know, early in the year when tariffs were implemented by the US on Canadian imports, it added an even greater layer of importance to the need to work to improve trade relationships and create export opportunities for Durham companies in the European industrial technology community. So it actually became a very opportune timing for us to be there, certainly.
Just out of curiosity, and that'll lead me to my next question, what was the biggest learn that you got out of it, especially in the moment you've already described, the connection of all these representatives from around the world? What was the biggest learning that you took away from the experience?
Yes, thank you. And through the chair, I knew that in going, what we would find with Germany as our host country of this event, a partner, an ally, a reciprocal trade agreement country through CETA. But what struck me was that we very much felt like they were our friends. And every delegation that came by our booth and stopped and took pictures with the car, it very much felt like we were more than just trading partners, that we were in fact friends and in it together to respond to the growing protectionism we're seeing globally.
Just out of curiosity, with your expertise in this particular field, is there anyone better to speak on behalf of the region of Durham than the team that you've got and the people that were part of the delegation that the region went? I go back to Toronto Global, and we're part of a kind of a side of the desk discussion. But true champions come from those that are working, breathing, committing in regards to this region and the 8 unique municipalities. Is there anybody better that can speak on that?
Yeah, Chair, I think that's a great question. And the answer is that our combined efforts, the region and the 8 area municipalities, with our supporting partners, I really don't think there are a better group of people to tell the story.
I agree with you, by the way. Just out of curiosity, is this an annual, does this happen next year also at the same time?
Yeah, Chair, it does. It happens every year. This year was the only country that we were the partner country, but it certainly does happen every year, and we do plan to return.
Okay.
Not to have a large booth necessarily, but certainly to meet with companies that are exhibiting there and companies that are visiting that trade fair to advance our discussions on investments.
Simon, is there anything else that is coming up in the next calendar year outside of the Germany event that is on the same stage that you believe that we should be attending to make sure that we have a presence and a voice at?
we're already looking forward to next year and the year after, and we're working hard. The short answer is no. We don't have anything on the roster just yet of the same scale and importance, but we are keeping our eyes open.
Well, I want to wrap up my comments, Mr. Chair, by saying that I think our team did an extraordinary job. I wasn't, of course, part of that delegation. I know that Mayor Ash played a really important role, and Mayor Roy played an important role along with the staff and Councillor Mayor Pietri, and I think Mayor Collier was also there. I am so impressed in regards to what was accomplished. I don't believe anybody can talk on behalf of our region with the kind of passion, the kind of uniqueness, the kind of enthusiasm that you can't hire that. I think that we have the people that are doing it, and I think this demonstrates it. And as Councillor Chapman said at the Committee of the Whole, when it came to being fiscally responsible, I think this team was outstanding in regards to meeting that challenge also at the same time. And I want to take this opportunity to just say, job well done, congratulations, you guys rock it, and I hope that this council continues to find ways of supporting you as you take our message forward. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Sterlingly.
Get the full name. I appreciate that. Thank you, Chair. So, Mr. Gill, I'm going to piggyback on what Mayor Carter was kind of alluding to. From a value prop in terms of lead generation, international investment, compared to Toronto Global, do we think this is kind of the method we should be using going forward?
Through the chair, I do see value in pan-regional or broader collaboration with our, more senior government partners, but certainly I think our targeted presentation of our value proposition to this unique audience was really only achievable by ourselves, and certainly I think delivered the most value we could have delivered for that investment.
I appreciate that, and I'm just want to, summarize with I was one of the few councillors who never really truly believed in Toronto Global, and I made that clear last term. And so this was what I always envisioned for economic development internationally. I think we do have a top-notch team, piggybacking on what Mayor Carter says, and we're able to show that internationally, and hopefully there are other forums which we can show this. So thank you very much. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Mayor Foster.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm likely to pile on. Simon, a couple of questions for you. So I essentially the information that you have provided to us here was already in an agenda which was available to the public and each member of council, correct?
Yes, through chair, that's correct. It's all public information.
Okay, but it's been public. I mean, this is not the first time this has come out, and every member of council or any member of the public had the ability to read it and ask questions about this.
Yeah, in fact, through you, Chair, I believe it was June 2024 that Regional Council approved a budget and a proposal for attending at this conference. I believe it was unanimous approval.
Okay, so we voted on that. There was a budget. We knew what we were doing. You reported on the results, and yet I'm gonna get myself in trouble here, but I'm used to that. I would suggest that there was some controversy that was constructed, suggesting that that transparency didn't exist. And I'm not going to. Don't answer that because I know you can't as staff. Yes, it is, Mr. Chair. Yeah. So you're aware. We just heard about Councillor Mayor Pietri in Ottawa with the German embassy. You're aware of the Dutch delegation that was here last week. And I don't know if you're aware that there were several mayors from across Ontario, as a matter of fact, that was focused on the nuclear file.
Yes.
Do you know that I'm somewhat disappointed, and maybe you can help me with my disappointment, that we're hearing about this in the past. Moving forward, can you speak to what we are doing moving ahead? I think it was the Star this morning. I cruise a bunch of news sources. I believe we had the governor of the Bank of Canada somewhat critical of Canadian industry that we had not diversified early enough. I may have the author wrong on that. But in a world of protectionism, this is you and your team getting out. So what do you see moving ahead in terms of getting out, talking to the world, and creating those relationships that we need to create?
Yeah, through the chair, I think there's a two-part answer to that. The first part is that I do believe it's very important for the region and its partners, the area municipalities, to continue the work that we're doing on investment attraction internationally, with a focus on key geographies in Europe and Asia in our specific sectors of focus, including clean energy, advanced automotive, applied digital technology. Continuing on with that concerted effort will ensure that we remain part of the awareness of those communities and remain firmly on the map when the province of Ontario and the government of Canada and international companies are considering where investments may want to locate. And then the second part of that is that Ms. Broderick's team has been engaged with many other partners, including senior levels of government, on trade and export diversification support for our local industries. The ones that have primarily been hit hardest by the US tariffs and the uncertainty that's causing. And through our relationships with those senior agencies, we feel that's going to be an important part of the go forward plan, which is to, as needed, respond to their impacts by providing whatever help they need to diversify their trade and export.
So Simon, Mr. Chair, I'll be somewhat brief in comments. To you and the team, all that went, thank you. I know these are described as junkets. These are not vacations. For anyone that has done business travel is brutal. It is not fun. So my thanks to you and your team, and for the mayors and Councillor Miron-Pietri that participated. Thank you as well. We are at a time where we are supposed to be reaching out to the Europeans, tightening ties, helping with jobs. So the arrow highlighting, Durham region's capacity in the auto industry. Do you think that might help those that have lost their jobs because of the tariffs? And do you think it's our responsibility to do that? It absolutely is. I've stated this before, that if we are not, as members of council, encouraging staff to get out there and do this work, we are not doing our jobs. I'll briefly highlight a meeting that I was at OPG, the Norwegian, so you know the number of countries that are coming through looking at both the large and the small reactors. We had two industrialists around the table that had nothing to do with nuclear, who are asking about the cost of electricity, which, by the way, is a fraction of the cost in Norway, and the timelines to get factories up and running, a fraction of the timelines. So we had two industries that had nothing to do with the nuclear business, two heads of those industries staring at each other, amazed at the opportunity that exists here in Durham and in Ontario. And without that delegation coming here, that information would not have been shared. So Simon, once again, thank you for doing your job, the job that we have tasked you with. Simon, you had to do this presentation, and there is a second report on the agenda today. Was a significant amount of time spent on doing this?
Through the chair, on drafting the report? Is that the question? Yeah, certainly. I think we wanted to make sure that council was aware of the ambitious metrics that we had set for ourselves and the outcomes of the mission, certainly.
So I'll suggest that was already in a report. It was already provided to those of us who chose to read it. And yet your staff were taken away from trying to create jobs for Durham residents to recreate this, which I think is a shame. Mr. Chair, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Ash, not to put you on the spot, but I apologize, but as the lead on the delegation, did you want to add?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I got to tell you that Mayor Foster is quite right. It was a very busy schedule. The timing was exquisite, though, because the day, one of the days was the day that President Trump announced tariffs on the EU. And there was literally people coming to our booth to find out about Durham. I note that there's some other people that visited the booth when I was there. Ambassador Dion was there. Premier Legault from Quebec. I talked to him as he went through our booth as well, because Quebec was right across the hall. But I can say it was an honor to represent you and lead the delegation with Mayor Collier and Mayor Roy and Councillor Mayor Pietri. We are very lucky to have dedicated professional staff that joined us from all lower tier municipalities. And I think these things don't happen overnight, but I think we did put ourselves on the map, and I look forward to cutting some ribbons and some businesses across Durham as a result of this trade mission. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. And Simon, it was 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, when you brought a guest into my office who met you at the event in Germany as a representative from Belgium. Did you want to speak to that?
Yes, Chair. I won't get into specifics, but it was only, I think, a couple weeks after the mission where we had met with a prospective investor, and it resulted in a trip to Durham Region and a meeting with us to hear more about what we had to offer and to meet with Regional Chair Henry.
So to the team that went, to Mayor Ash, Mayor Roy, Mayor Collier, and Councillor Mayor Pietri, to our CAO, to you and your team, excellent job. Durham has always struggled in the shadow of Toronto, and now Toronto is a suburb of Durham. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, members of council, there are no delegations. We'll move into communications. Item 7.1 is a memorandum dated September 24th from our clerk. It's the resolution is to adopt the resolution regarding Elect Respect campaign. Moved by Councillor Chapman, seconded by Councillor Brenner. Questions? Recorded vote called by Councillor Chapman. Mayor Foster.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'm going to make a request as opposed to a question. It is very simple for any member of these chambers or for any member of staff, any member of the public to put their name on as a signatory to Elect Respect. And as much as we need to drive this, members of the public need to have the courage to stand up and take these few but exceptionally loud voices to a degree of reasonableness. So I'd encourage for all of you, if you haven't gone to that website, encourage staff. We don't have a lot of members of the public here today, but encourage all. Listen to some of the stories. The depth of destruction, the malice that is being focused, being purposely generated, is huge. And we read about it in the paper and tend to ignore it. You will recognize a lot of people who are in the videotapes, hearing what they have gone through. I would suggest this does not go far enough. If you listen to some of the stories in the Star, a former member of Parliament, the abuse that her children took, and I've shared those stories before. We need good people to run for office. We need people to operate on principle, have principled votes, not votes that are dictated by bullies. And sadly, that seems to be diminishing. The rage farmers are alive and well. The rage farmers are prospering from this. Our society, at least the society that I love and cherish, our community, is dependent on us dealing with this. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So, Councillor Sterling.
Thank you, Chair John Henry.
No, the reason is we have another Lee in the meeting today.
Oh, very good. Sorry, I loved it. It felt so important.
And his name is Steve, and I couldn't do S. Lee. So
that absolutely makes more sense.
Please.
I just want to kind of piggyback onto what Mayor Foster's saying. I really think it's important that if we do, anyone who does sign the pledge, they truly mean it, and it's reflected in their actions. Anybody can put their name in a website and feel good about themselves, but really people are looking to their elected officials to set a standard of dignity and raise the level of debate and not resort to name calling or using proxies to attack other people. That is not what most of us signed up to do when we signed up for politics. So I'm hoping that anybody who does sign the Elect Respect pledge truly does it with the full intention of honoring that pledge. Thank you, Chair.
And just may I add, our families that support us didn't sign up for what's going on today. Mr. Jagannathan, engineering has a large plotter. Can you take this motion, send it to your team, print it on paper, and can we have it in this council chambers for the next meeting, and all members and staff present can sign it. We can put it out in the hallway for staff to sign it, then we can frame it and hang it.
Will do. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. I see no more questions. Ms. Clerk, on the recommendation, I'm going to call the vote. Recorded vote was called by Councillor Chapman. Call that vote now.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Recorded vote on the motion, starting now.
Did you get one? Carried unanimously. We'll move on to 7.2. It's a bylaw to transfer jurisdiction over part of highway known as Victoria Street East from the corporation, the town of Whitby, to the regional municipality. It's to be received for information. We'll look to, okay, thank you, Councillor Chapman. I need a seconder. Councillor Shahid, on the item, questions? Call the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? None. That carries. 7.3, it's a confidential memorandum from Kelly McDermott, our Deputy Regional Solicitor. It's a closed matter. You all have received it. Is there a need to go into closed session? Then I will I would ask somebody to move by Mayor Carter, seconded by Councillor Kerr, on the recommendation, which is to receive for information. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. Mayor Jubb, before we go any further, I should have done this earlier. You have a member of your council in the room. Would you like to take the opportunity to introduce them, please?
Thank you very much, Chair. We do have Ward 4 Councillor from Brock, Rhea Pettingill, with us today. Thanks for coming, Rhea.
Good morning and welcome. Mr. Clerk, that moves us on to reports related to the delegation. Item 8.1 is the Hanover Messe 2025 final outcomes. As the chair of the committee, Councillor Chapman, would you move that, please? Thank you. As the I need a seconder. Councillor Pickles is the vice chair. Thank you. The item is on the floor. Councillor Yamada.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to staff, in the presentation, it spoke to 19 to 36 months to look at the possibility of investment. In EDT 13-2025, it references 2024 F13, which I read more than once, especially in 2024. With regards to new leads, how many leads led to needing site selection support in 2018, in 2022, and in 2023?
It's really not related to this. Part of it is, but not all of it is. Mr. Gill, I'm going to ask you to answer it to the best of your ability.
Yeah, Chair, I'm afraid I don't have the data for those years in front of me. I could endeavor to get back to you on that.
When and where would I be able to get that information?
Yeah, Chair, the Business Development and Investment Attraction team does report annually on our investment attraction statistics and metrics. And I could actually direct you to the prior 3 reports for the last 3 years. So the 2024 metrics report on investment attraction statistics was 2025 EDT 7.
Mm-hmm.
The 2023 metrics report was 2024 EDT 7. And the 2022 metrics report was 2023 EDT4.
So I guess I would rephrase my question then. Coming out of the 2028, 2022, and 2023 conferences, how many businesses set up from those lead generations in Durham Region? How many?
Yeah, so this is about Hanover Mesa. If you have a question of a magnitude asking for a lot of staff information, then you should have sent it to staff ahead of today's meeting so they could be prepared to answer your questions.
But I think understanding that we have a economic development office and that we've gone on this conference 3 times, that we would know how many of those leads have come up.
How many times have we been to Hanover?
Yeah, Chair, I believe staff from our team has been to Hanover Mesa 3 prior times, but did not exhibit at the conference. The purpose of those missions was to meet directly with companies that were either exhibiting or attending at the conference to talk about the prospect of investing in Durham Region.
And I'm going from memory, but as a result of one of those trips, we did have a delegation here from Nuremberg.
We do have a economic development partnership with the city of Nuremberg.
In reference to, again, those 3 years, what was the size of the delegations in 2018, 2022, and 2023?
Councillor, that's not what this report's about. If you're going to ask questions where you need specific information, staff really should have a heads up to deliver that back to this council meeting, and you always have the opportunity to ask the questions in advance. Mr. Gill, I'll give you the opportunity. If you don't have the information, just say you don't have the information, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, Chair, I don't have the exact number, but I could tell you that it was likely only 1 or 2 staff that would have gone to have those meetings.
So if I request, do I need to do it through a notice of motion to get the budgets for 2018, 2022, and 2023?
You just send a note to the director and ask for the information.
Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So on a positive note, yes, we have been to Hanover Mesa a couple times, and in specific to meet with specific companies and to try and broaden the knowledge of outside of Canada, outside of our community, what Durham Region has to offer. The committee, the Community Growth and Economic Development Committee, started discussing this golden opportunity, I'll call it, because Canada was the partner country at this thing. So we had an opportunity to, really showcase a lot of things here. Staff were directed, came back and said, here's what we need in order to do this. The committee and council directed staff to present the budget, for example, and it was passed at committee, it was passed at council. They also were directed to tell us what the goals were of this large amount of money. As you heard from Mr. Gill, fewer people went in the past, but this was a big contingent, incorporated our other communities, the lower tier communities, and our partners. And they came back with, here's what we believe can be accomplished for this amount of money. Committee and council approved that. They've come back under the budget that we gave them. They came back over the goals that we gave them, and they've been selling Durham Region. It's easy to say that we work with Invest Ontario, we work with Toronto Global, we work with all sorts of things because our staff do a lot of work on their own as well. They get inquiries all the time and try to sell Durham Region. And what they do is they use the ACEs that we have in Durham Region, and that's specific to saying ACE because of Durham, Ontario Tech. The announcement that was made that this vehicle 2.0 is going to be developed here, there's a lot of partners, a lot of private industry partners that are involved in this. It's not about building a car per se, it's about the technology that's in that. and to highlight the fact that Ontario Tech, Durham Region, that we have this thing. I mean, we have companies that come here from all over the world to use the ACE facilities to test things like how long will a battery last in minus whatever temperature, so can it be used in the Arctic? We're the furthest most testing center in probably in the world. Perhaps maybe there might be something in Norway or something like that. But we have a lot of companies that come here, and we're trying to take advantage to get some of those to be more permanent. Our staff did an excellent job. The elected representatives that went there did an excellent job. It doesn't happen overnight when people show interest from a conference like this, that show interest, that all of a sudden the following week, we're going to get all sorts inundated with people that say, hey, I'm ready to move to Durham Region. I'm ready to move to Canada. What can you sell me? That takes time to develop. And part of that development is the partnerships and how we present ourselves. And as you heard Mr. Gill earlier, we're the best people to present ourselves to the world. This was a great conference. It's not going to happen every year. It was an opportunity, and as Mayor Ash said, the opportunity actually expanded when what happened down in the United States, because we were originally going to go this to showcase Durham Region, to help showcase Canada, help showcase Ontario, and that became even more important when what happened in the States at the beginning of this year. So I want to commend staff and those elected officials that went, because they did an excellent job. Our staff followed direction to the key, came in under budget, and presented themselves. Instead of underestimating and saying, maybe we'll get 2 or 3, they came in with a proper number and exceeded that by, I don't know. I'm not good with percentages. Math's never been my best subject. But the staff need to be congratulated, not picked on or saying that, is this a good investment? As far as I'm concerned, this was an excellent investment for the taxpayers of Durham Region, because I believe, maybe not tomorrow, but over the next year or so, this will show dividends. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Marin Pietri, all the way from Ottawa.
Chair Henry, I appreciate the discussion. Try to move. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak to the matter. I'm getting a little bit of feedback, so please forgive me for not being able to articulate in the way that I would like if I were in the council chamber. I'd like to wish everyone a good morning and begin by recognizing the team in our works department for what they accomplished and what they continue to do. As a former employee at Duffin Creek, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of those who put together the Sunflower program and continue to drive accessibility in our community. And to top it off, we're dealing with a subject that I think that we should be very, very cognizant of how impactful those, whether they be in the works department or within our DRT services or throughout the office in corporate environments, have had a very positive approach in putting together, namely Simon Gill and Maylene, who I want to thank without trying to reach every single member of the team's name, because I do not want to miss anyone. That they bring back their not just well wishes, but their absolute gratitude for the efforts that they've undertaken. As you heard, it took months to put together this this global summit, and our position in the global summit was one of consequence for a number of reasons. I know that as we move to a trade agreement with the United States and other world countries, the geopolitical wranglings of that point in our history may start to wane in people's minds. But we have to remember, and I think that Mayor Ash touched on it, and I was honored and proud to represent you, Chair, and colleagues around the table with Mayor Ash and Mayor Roy and Mayor Collier but especially our partners in post-secondary institutions and our staff team in recognizing just how important it was to be there. You had media that attended our exhibit from the likes of CNN to BBC and numerous others internationally. Mentioned were a number of different political leaders. And that's sometimes expected by folks who may be recognizing efforts that are made in settings like these. But Hanover Messe is likely the largest global trade summit in the world on its own. And then when you factor in the efforts made by the region of Durham to present itself as a significant component of Team Canada, which, you know, Canada being the member partner country with Germany, that in itself has an effect. And add to it how consequential, how absolutely consequential that period was with President Trump announcing the tariff, you know, issue. I wouldn't call them attacks, but considerations for global trade. We're working through that, and I think that the question asked by many is: so, what is it that you're, you know, bringing to the table, and what kind of, you know, effects will this have with the kind of, you know, investment that's been made in that summit? And that's fair. I know that at times when, you know, anyone attempts to justify even a dollar in the public sector, it becomes a question where people want measurables, and I agree. But these measurables will occur over time, and I can't speak highly enough of the team that we have to be able to draw those positive contributions and the presence that we made internationally. In many ways, upstaging even a number of the provincial and national exhibitors and being recognized as the exhibit and the beacon for future industry in the national, you know, economy. And I think as we move forward, I respect anyone who's looking to understand how best to invest our funds, but I have to say that it's about time that we present in the way that we did internationally to provide made in Canada solutions on the global stage. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak to this. I didn't expect to have to. I will be heading to a number of different meetings in Ottawa today and report back, and hope that the work that we did in Hanover, that we continue to do at the region and throughout our municipalities with our partners like Ontario Tech and Trent University and Durham College, Queens, and UFT, continue to draw global giants to plant their flags here in Durham region and provide good paying jobs and motivate the Canadian economy with global solutions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Kerr.
Thank you, Chair. I'll summarize my comments simply and thusly. I don't think anybody in this room would argue with the old adage that says it pays to advertise. If somebody doesn't know about your product, it's pretty difficult for them to buy it. Secondly, not only did this delegation be an advertising vehicle, it was an active engagement. And if you look at the metrics from the conference, they far surpassed the projected hopeful metrics by a landslide. If you look at some, they're so far above, it almost looks like you say, well, where did all this extra contact come from? Well, it came from us being there and the quality of the exhibit. The next thing is that, you know, look at all the engagement that's happened post-conference. We have Councillor Marin Pietri today in Ottawa with a representative from Germany. We have Mayor Foster, I may say entertaining, but meeting with the Dutch representatives last week. So these things will go on. And I guess what I'm saying here is you don't see countries take a shot in the dark to land somewhere with a corporation if they don't know anything about it. You have to take the time to build the trust, to make sure that if you're going to invest in that area, you know everything about it and you're going to get your money's worth and it's going to be a smart move. And that's what conferences like this do. You have to build the trust. I just want to thank the team for taking the time and effort, and especially the effort to make those contacts, engagements, put Durham on the map internationally, and to foster the trust that we'll see future development in Durham region. I look forward to the vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Barton.
Hey, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. In my previous life, I went to hundreds of trade shows like this, and sometimes you jump on a plane and you go somewhere and it's a total bust. It's like, you know, this wasn't good value for time or money. And other times you go, sometimes it's the same trade show in a different year, and it's incredible value for money. You meet a couple key people that make a significant difference to your business. What Simon and his team did is exactly what we would hope. They went, they tested the waters and said, this is a place, this is a global trade show that Durham should be at. They aligned it with when Canada had a significant process, a significant amount of people in that area, and they stepped up in a big way. Donald Trump really helped with this trade show as well, just from some of the talk that he made us even more popular. This is exactly the story that we should be telling. And again, sometimes we're going to go places that won't work out. The numbers won't work out. But we need to be in places, we need to constantly be looking at the market, deciding how we're going to encourage further investment in all of our municipalities. And they won't always be a home run like this. But we need to continue to be working to make these things happen. And you also need the right people in the room. If you didn't have people like Mayor Ash and Mayor Roy and our friend Tito, if you don't have the right people there, it won't have the same effect. So again, thanks to Simon and your team for doing this. You cannot dissect this on this meeting led to exactly this opportunity over, you know, weeks or months or even years. We have to continue to invest to get the right types of businesses in Durham region. So again, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thanks for letting me jump in here. I appreciate the lads.
Thank you. Councillor McDougall.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the opportunity to speak to this. I just want to lend my support to exactly what Mayor Barton is saying. We have a small plastic parts extruder in Scugog. They probably have 75 to 100 people working there. They've recently started shipping to Europe. They've always shipped a little bit, but they're shipping a lot more to Europe. Durham region, economic development is the responsibility of the Durham region as far as, I mean, I know we partner on all this, but we count on Durham being in the room. Now, they may not have been there directly with us, but the name recognition for Durham, for Ontario, for Canada travels with us when we go there. It's like when we're young and you travel out to Epcot Center and you see the Canadian Pavilion. Being in the room matters. And Durham being in the room will matter to my local parts supplier at some point in time, someday. I don't know how, I don't know when, but it will matter. Thank you for going.
Thank you. Councillor Steve Lee.
I appreciate the full name as well too, Chair. I know you've got a tough job managing a couple of us, Councillor Lees. So just very quickly, I think this is really excellent of staff. As someone who has done trade shows for years with multiple businesses, this is not something that you necessarily see instantaneous results from. It would be great if we get that, of course, but this is something that when you continually reach out and you're continually seen and you continually do these types of events, results do happen. And I'm positive that this was a great result from everything that I've heard. And I'm positive that as we move forward, we will see more and more results from it. And I hope that staff continue to do this type of reach out, because it is so important for our community, for Durham Region, Whitby obviously, and all of the other towns across the region. So very happy that this was done, very happy that staff will continue to reach out on this and continue to attend conferences of this type, whether it be this or others. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Councillor Shahid.
Thank you so much. Through you, Chair Henry, I'll keep my comments very, very brief. First of all, I'd like to really appreciate staff, because not only they worked over a year in advance, but also when they were there, they put their 101% out and also spent time away from family, which needs to be talked about as well. Lastly, I'm going to just say that the environment we are in and the negativity that we are getting from the south of us and somewhere else, I'm just going to say right now is the only moment that economic development departments, our economy, jobs should be pushed. And that should be our first priority and the most important priority. With this, I will end. Thank you, Chair, for the indulgence.
So that exhausts the list, and I'll just finish up by saying a few comments. There was another time in the history of this country where the Project Arrow had such a different message. And that Project Arrow that would have changed the aerospace industry was chopped up and cast aside. This Project Arrow has got 2.0. There's going to be 5 versions of that car built. That announcement was made at this event, and it went around the world. Not to put you on the spot, Mr. Gill, but has the number of students at Ontario Tech increased because of Project Arrow?
Chair, I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, I think it has. And we were at a meeting yesterday where we were talking about what this has done. You know, there was a time in the history of the world where nuclear energy was a bad thing, and now it's not a bad thing. And it was this council and the support for nuclear that, in an unpopular time, has now made Durham Region the energy capital of the world, with the investment in Clarington made by the federal government, or the announcement of one of the 5 largest projects in Canada. Mr. Gill, did we talk about nuclear in Germany?
Chair, yeah, clean energy and Durham's leading position in Canada on clean energy was certainly a central focus of our messaging.
With the economy of this country and the dependence on rail transportation and not having a university or a school that dealt with railway engineering, let me think. Is there a university in Durham Region that does railroad engineering? Would it happen to be located in the great city of Oshawa?
Yes, it is.
And last question, and it's a sarcastic question, so there won't be any answer, but you know what? I sat in this council chambers for a few years now. Maybe some will think too many. Where the topic of conversation in this room was about our partnership with Toronto Global. And they always wanted our team to do more and more and more and more. Well, if this isn't more, I don't know what is. And to the economic development teams here in Durham Region and all the municipalities that sent representatives, congratulations, you delivered more. The world knows who we are. The future of Durham is bright and energetic. We're attracting companies from around the world to Durham Region, and not just in automotive and in engineering and rail. It's also in agriculture. You can build anything in Durham Region, ship it anywhere in the world through the Port of Oshawa. We have people coming here every day to see how come our community's doing so well when other major communities in this country are suffering and losing people? My goodness, we've had a lot of debate on this subject, and in my case, you know what? It was just time. Minutes we will never get back. And it's sad that something as good as this has taken as much time, and the work that staff had to do to bring this back when they were under budget. My goodness. I'm disappointed. We're better than this. We should be standing up and giving our teams a round of ovation. And to finish this, Mayor Foster, if you'll allow me, please stand up and help me congratulate our staff. And when I talk about nuclear and the great things we're doing around the world in that field, the bills are not all being paid by the region of Durham. They're being paid by Pickering, and they're being paid by the Clarington. That without the mayors of those communities, Mayor Foster, you travel the world talking about host community agreements. Mayor Ash, your support for nuclear is bringing companies to Durham region that are setting up in Pickering. My goodness, congratulations. Mayor Foster.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With your indulgence, one, and I don't believe this is controversial, rather than be received for information, be received with thanks, and a recorded vote, I think, would be appropriate.
We need to change the receive for information to thanks. Do we need an amendment, or can we just?
That as the motion.
We'll take that as the motion. Okay, and recorded vote called at the appropriate. No, thank you. Oh. Thank you. Councillor Anderson.
Yeah, I wasn't going to weigh in, or I was just going to ask for a recorded vote, but you did allude to the fact of the modular reactors coming to Clarington, and you were saying that, oh, it's great. But we have folks on Facebook that snacking it as a terrible thing, and they went on and on and on. So these days, I don't know what's a good thing anymore. It's just the way our society is. But it's a good thing, and kudos to the trade mission, and those jobs they're not going to materialize maybe instantaneously, but down the road, there'll be results. So thanks again to the team, and thanks for doing this, putting Durham on the map. So it's a good thing. And I believe most good people would agree with us on that.
Thank you.
So thanks.
Okay, we'll call the vote. It's a recorded vote called by Mayor Foster.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Recorded vote is starting now.
It's unanimous. Okay, we'll move on to finance. Mr. Clerk, if I could have the sheets, please. Thank you. Moved by Mayor Ash, seconded by Councillor Gerard, that recommendations items 1 to 7, inclusive of report number 4 of the Finance and Administration Committee, be adopted. Pulls. Okay, Mr. Clerk, I see none. We'll call the vote. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. The next one is it's Health and Social Services. I'm going to have it moved by Councillor Dyes. Can I have a seconder from a committee member? Councillor Brenner. The recommendations contained in items 1 and 2 of report number 4 of the Health and Social Services be adopted. All polls. Seeing none. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. We'll move on to Community Growth and Economic Development Committee. Moved by Councillor Chapman, seconded by Councillor Pickles, that items 1 and 2 of report number 4 of the Community Growth Committee be adopted. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. We'll move on to works. Is Councillor Marion Pietri still online? Okay. Moved by Mayor Barton, seconded by Councillor Marion Pietri, that recommendations contained in item 1, 2, 3, inclusive of report number 7 of the Committee of the Whole be adopted. Polls. Seeing none, I will call the vote. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. Okay, so we'll move on to the, pardon? Yeah, just get there now. Committee of the Whole. Okay. Moving on to the Committee of the Whole. Can I get a mover? Moved by Mayor Carter. Is that you're moving that? I'll move it. Thank you. And I need a seconder. Councillor Lee. Sterling. Very good. Thank you. The recommendations in items 1 to 4, inclusive of report number 8 of the Committee of the Whole, be adopted. Polls. Mr. Clerk. Okay. Then we'll call the vote. Oh, sorry, Mayor Carter, poll.
Vote, please.
Recorded vote. Okay, seeing no polls, no hands, I will call the vote. All those in favor? Recorded vote, yeah, sorry, it's me.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Recorded vote on the Committee of the Whole report is starting now.
It's unanimous. Okay, thank you. Do we have lunch in the back? Just give me 1 second, members of council. So, members of council, we do have lunch in the back. Did you want to take 30 minutes for lunch? Okay. All right. So I'm looking to a mover, Councillor Yamada, second by Councillor Wu, on a 30-minute recess for lunch before we get into section 10. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, we're in recess till 12:15. And staff, please take your seats. Members of council, can you please take your seats? Mr. Clerk, can you do a roll call, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Electronic roll call is starting now.
We have quorum? That's okay. We noted you're here. Members of council, we have quorum, so we'll move on to departmental reports and others. First one is a motion to adopt the recommendations. This is 10.1 is for transit fares for the Canadian Armed Force members. Mr. Clerk, a number of us have declared conflicts on this. Do I need a mover for the motion here on the floor?
Yes, you do.
Okay, moved by Councillor Lee, seconded by Councillor McCaughey. This is item 10.1. Is there anyone, Councillor Leahy?
Thank you, Chair. Appreciate that. So, excellent report. Really grateful that we've been able to move forward with this particular request. My question to staff is, after we've been able to do it for the first year, are we going to be able to collect any metrics of how often it's used, is my first question.
Mr. Holmes?
Thank you, and through the chair. So for this first year, since it is a one-off, limited time, fare-free duration, and as we had mentioned at Tech, it will be we're going to recognize the POPI program that the Royal Canadian Legion follows, which is the last Friday of October through November 11th. So it will be a visual identification of members boarding, and as indicated, it will be either members in uniform, veterans with their medals, or there's also individuals who may not be in uniform or medals for which the appropriate identification will be required, and we'll be reminding staff. So we will do our best from a visual identification perspective to identify the numbers through that period and report back to Tech in December in terms of the outcome from this this project.
Yes, no, and I appreciate that. I just ask on that follow-up as well, because with that data, part of the report is saying how much it would cost if we provided it free year-round. But if we can collect that data for a year or two, can we not make a more accurate determination of how much it would cost if we provided it to veterans free for the entire year?
Through the chair, extending fare free, and in the report, we did try to address some of the issues or concerns with fare free transit to one group versus another. We are, again, from the perspective of the report that was approved at Tech, is that limited duration of time in terms of recognition, which is consistent with the majority of municipal transit agencies, except for Metrolinx, which is an agency of the province. But we will come back with the data through that period of time from it is October 31st this year through November 11th to provide an indication of the level of ridership and the number of people that took advantage of that fare free. At that point in time, perhaps, we will qualify the data and then further decisions can be made at that time. We are not recommending running a full pilot at this point, but evaluating the success this year, and then perhaps a decision can be made in December or later, whether it would be expanded from there.
And thank you for those answers. I appreciate that. So I appreciate that the effort that we're making to show our veterans. I think it's very important. I appreciate it as a good first step, and I look forward to that data. And I thank staff and the Tech Committee for supporting that, and looking forward to seeing this successfully implemented this November. Thank you.
Mayor Carter.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much for the opportunity to ask a few questions. Previously, we did send through some amendments that we wanted on this particular one, but I think we just need some clarification in regards to questions. So I just wanted to make sure that you understood that myself and Mr. Holmes have spoken. I just want it for the record. So Mr. Holmes, good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity to chat with you. From the report itself, a couple of things. One is the length of period of time, this Remembrance Week that should be recognized. I think the report had said November 5th to 11th, but you and I spoke prior to today's meeting. I think it's recognized as the last Friday of October to November 11th is really recognized nationally as the Week of Remembrance. Am I correct to be able to say that this will be implemented this particular year on October the 31st to November the 11th?
You are correct, and the intent is to follow the program that the Royal Canadian Legion have in place in terms of the Poppy campaign, which is the last Friday of October through November 11th.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Holmes, also, I had made reference in regards to the second component of this, which is the portion about uniform veterans wearing their medals. I had expressed to you that a couple of things. One is for uniform service members, some on public transit will not wear their uniform because of security issues. But they would still be recognized because, to my understanding, is there is an opportunity and they do carry identification identifying themselves. Will that be accepted by our transit operators?
Through the chair, yes, it will. And as part of implementing this program, we will have a full communication plan for October that will demonstrate the identification that would be appropriate. We'll share that as well internally with our staff so that when these members do board and they visually show the operator that identification, they'll be able to board without paying a fare.
So my understanding is a veteran has a card that says Record of Service at NDA I-75 from Veterans Affairs Canada. So that would also be able to be accepted, in a CF1 card also, or a CF Candex system card that also shows that they're veterans. Those three items would be acceptable by our operators. Is that correct, sir?
It's my understanding that there are 3 cards. There may be others that we
Yeah.
will further investigate, and if there are more, we will make sure that that's part of the program as well.
So I'm glad that you and I had the opportunity to chat about this, and I thank you very much for the clarification. I think it's important that those items were brought forward. I also expressed to you in our discussion that you are bringing a report back in December about what the uptake or what your analytics will show in regards to it. My personal feeling, especially right now, as Canadians are trying to find a way of not only being very patriotic, but also uniting, I think this is a wonderful way of being able to demonstrate it. In my personal opinion, I wish we could extend it year-long. These individuals have served our country in ways that I don't think most of us really clearly would understand or appreciate. My father was a dispatch rider in the Second World War, and I said to him, that must mean you were taking secrets up to the front line. He said, no, it was more whiskey than anything else. So yeah, I guess that was a very important role to play there. But I can't even imagine as a young man or young woman serving in those roles. So on behalf of our community and the region, thank you very much for taking these recommendations and also some of these suggestions into consideration so those can take benefit of it. So thank you, Mr. Holmes. At the appropriate time, Mr. Chair, we'd ask for a recorded vote just so that we could honor those that have been made in declaration, if that's okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Councillor Yamada.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm happy to support Report 2025 DRT-14. I think this initiative is both a meaningful gesture of respect and a tangible acknowledgement of the service and sacrifices made by those who wear the uniform of our nation. Durham Region Transit has rightly recognized that transportation is more than just a service. It's a bridge to community, opportunity, and dignity. By opening our buses during Remembrance Week, we are not only providing mobility, but also signaling to our armed forces community that their contributions are seen, valued, and honored. For many, this program will make it easier to attend Remembrance Day ceremonies, connect with community supports, and participate fully in civic life during a week of solemn national reflection. I applaud staff for their careful and balanced approach. The financial implications have been responsibly considered, and the projected costs of approximately $8,000 in foregone fare revenue in 2025 is modest. I think it is compassionate, fiscally, and a fiscally prudent step forward. As Mayor Carter spoke, I would hope that down the road we could look at expanding this year-round to those who have served our nation and fought for our freedoms. I think anything we can do to look at that going forward would reinforce our support for our armed forces. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councillor Crawford, is the Chair of Transit?
Just like to move it.
It's been moved.
Well, who did that? Seriously. Can I second it?
It's been seconded.
Okay,
You know what?
never mind then.
But,
I'll vote for it.
but you could talk about what.
This is a great initiative, and we're very happy to support our veterans always.
And where did it start?
I'm sorry?
Where did this idea start? Was it at Transit?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I wasn't at transit when it came to transit. That's why you caught me off guard. I'm like, yes, it started in transit.
Thank you, as the Chair of Transit.
Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Nicholson. Councillor Nicholson? Councillor Nicholson? Okay. Mr. Clerk, I'll leave that with you, and I'll go to Councillor McCaughey.
Thank you. Through you, Chair, I just want to thank staff for bringing this forward. Since I posted it on social media the day of the transit meeting, I had a lot of people reaching out saying they would love to see this year-round for our veterans. So I am curious to see what will happen with the metrics, if we can get sort of an estimate on what the costs are, because I think that there is a will out there to support our veterans. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Councillor Anderson?
Thank you, and this was a wonderful initiative. Thanks for the folks that brought this forward. I know this might be logistically difficult. Is there any way or any thoughts of doing that week serving specifically seniors community? We have one in Wilmot Creek, but they have their own ceremony, but not all seniors communities have a ceremony. So was any thought given to make sure those folks would be able to get to ceremonies during Remembrance Day week? I guess this is for the general manager, I would assume.
So the motion, if you're talking about veterans that would be.
Yeah, veteran, yeah.
They would be.
There are a lot of veterans are living in seniors communities.
They would be covered by this.
Okay. I know, for instance, the Wilmot Creek doesn't have any service. And there are a lot of veterans, so there might be other communities, but seniors communities without any service.
Go ahead.
Through the chair. So Wilmot Creek does have transit service through the on-demand network, and as do other areas of low demand across the region. And that service is available to all residents in that area. They will just have to schedule and book those rides.
Okay, so they will be made aware that there is on-demand, and I take it when you do the promotion.
Through the chair, we will highlight both our scheduled and our on-demand services that are available across the network for all residents. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that exhausts the speakers list. A recorded vote was called. A number of us have conflicts, so Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Recorded vote is starting now.
Carries unanimously. Members of council, we'll move on to 10.2. This is a request for municipal ice storm assistance. We'll need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Mayor Foster, seconded by Councillor Pickles. The recommendation is to move the recommendation in the report. Questions? Seeing none, we'll call the vote. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries. The next one is 10 point, sorry, just give me 1 second. Okay, the next item we're moving to is 10.3, Headquarters Main West Entrance Modifications Project. The motion is to receive the report for information. Councillor Leahy, are you moving it? Okay, I'm looking for a seconder. Councillor Shahid. Okay, reports on the floor. Questions? Councillor Leahy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I appreciate that. So through you to staff, just a couple questions for clarity. Appreciate the report and all the detail. That is excellent. So is my understanding of the report correct when I look at all the consulting costs? So under 2.2, it's saying that we went with the one vendor for about 56,000 or 57,600 in consulting costs, and then the change orders was about 74,000. So the consulting costs would be around 131,000. Is that correct?
I'm getting a nod from the commissioner, yes.
Okay, perfect. So no, appreciate that. And then the part in there where they had to redesign the door. So did that, it went from 2 revolving doors to the current revolving door system where we have a revolving door and 2 side doors? Is that, and that's what was the change of that, about $47,000?
I'm getting a nod, yes.
Perfect. No, I appreciate that. So appreciate all the information and that was requested. And those are all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Nicholson, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Councillor Nicholson, we weren't able to hear you on the item before this. If you wish to say a few words now, I'll allow it.
It was actually a question, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
I was wondering if we're going to have the transit program for our veterans, would it be also available for allied veterans who are living in our community?
I believe, Mr. Holmes, it would be for all veterans.
Through the chair, at this point in time, it is specific to the Canadian Armed Forces veterans. We're unaware of the various forms of identification that may be available. At this point in time, for this first year, I'm not sure that it would be practical for us to inform our operators and negate any conflict which may arise on the bus from that. So I would highly suggest we focus on our Canadian Armed Forces to get an understanding of the program and the demand before extending it further.
Well, I do appreciate the difficulties logistically, but I would hope as we proceed in future years, we will look at support, because there are many allied veterans who fought alongside Canadian veterans in many events in Europe, who have now moved to Durham and raised their families here, and I think they would need to be recognized in the future as well. So I'll leave it at that. As for this particular item, Mr. Chairman, my only clarification is staff able to provide us with a bottom line on how much was spent on the door and how much was spent on the other items? Because the report still doesn't indicate that.
I'll go to the commissioner, Mr. Jaganathan.
Yeah, through the chair, Councillor, I would refer you to section 2.4 of the report. And again, this was a CCDC architectural contract. And if you look at division number 8, which is openings, which added up to, which was quoted as 368,700. And the architectural definition of openings is basically all doors. So I'm going to say that includes the 4 swing doors, the revolving door, the glazing, the door hardware. We don't have a breakdown of this 368,000 because this was a lump sum contract.
Okay, just so I can be clear on that, then we paid $368,700 for the door, and the remainder of that particular sections are for ancillary services.
Well, through the chair, the remainder would be for whatever needed to be done to the ceiling, the flooring, the HVAC system, the electrical system, the touch button retrofits, all that will be included in there, including the contractors like project management, insurance bonds, all inclusive.
The problem I'm having, and possibly you can help me, is when I asked this question in the committee of the whole, I wanted to differentiate between what was door-related construction costs and non-door related, because the argument's been made it's not $1 million door. So I'm trying to understand, all items in, what amount of this money was targeted towards the doors and what was targeted towards other items. Is that something we can differentiate?
Again, the 734,000 plus the change orders was for the total project, which the proper term would be the main entrance modifications. And the 368,700, if you're looking for a number for those, that would be the number. So the remaining would be like whatever we had to do at the entrance, the ceiling, the flooring, electrical, HVAC work and all that. In terms of a breakdown within that 368,700, we don't have it, nor would I think the contractor would be able to provide, but because it's a lump sum contract, we don't have a breakdown.
Would it then be fair to say, and if not, please indicate what other number I should use, that if I'm asked, I can clearly state it's not $1 million door, it's a $734,000 door?
Through the chair, no, that would be inaccurate, Councillor. Like I would say, it's not $1 million door. It's roughly about $940,000 headquarters entrance modifications, which included like the full 4-panel revolving door, the 4 swing doors, the touch retrofits, and all the required changes to the HVAC and electrical and mechanical systems, including the fire safety systems that had to be done within that box called the main entrance. That's the way I would characterize it.
So it should be as a $900,000 plus entrance remodification.
Yes, sir. Sorry. Yes, Councillor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no other questions, this is report 9.3. Mr. Clerk, I'll call the vote. Oh, sorry, 10.3, progressive lenses. Recorded vote by Councillor Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Recorded vote on the report starting now.
That carries. We'll move on to 10.4. Sorry, just give me 1 second. $10.4, motion to seek a value for audit renovation at Durham Region Headquarters. Moved by Councillor Leahy, seconded by Councillor Yamada. Councillor Leahy?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So no, I appreciate that. We had a fulsome discussion at committee. Just looking for council support as we look at the information from the just shy of $1 million door is, the $137,000 on consulting fees for redesign changes, engineering drawings, and other different things. I think it's very important to understand all those details and to get a third-party review of all the different pieces about the cost of the door. So that's why this motion is here. It's we saw all the interest from just one piece of that $54 million renovation, the door. We've spent another $53 million on the renovation of headquarters. Having a third-party review of all of those different things to me is always in order and a great idea to validate all the different spending that's going on, because $54 million on a building that's, again, that we're in is only about 22 years old, is something that's worth doing, and just asking for a recorded vote at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Councillor Yamada?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to just make some comments. I'm in full support of this motion asking for an independent auditor to conduct a value for money audit. Let's be clear. This is not just about a revolving door. It's not just about a side entrance. It's about public trust and our responsibility to ensure that every decision we make, every dollar we spend, is in the best interests of the people we serve. Residents across Durham Region have expressed real concerns, and I've heard about it at the door. Concerns have been echoed in our local media, across the dinner table, in our communities. People are asking, why did this cost so much? Was it necessary? Was it justified? And as a council committed to transparency, accountability, and good governance, we cannot ignore these questions. We must face them head on. The reality is, this project, including the door system, is part of a much larger headquarters renovation. We've heard that. And while staff have rightly committed to providing a full accounting of expenditures, we need to go further. A value for money audit is not just about line items and balance sheets. It's about understanding how well our resources were used, not just whether the money was spent properly, but whether it was spent wisely. The type of audit conducted by an independent third party will provide a clear, objective analysis of the project. It will assess whether the project was economical, efficient, and effective, the three pillars of responsible public spending. And importantly, it will also provide recommendations for improvement, because this just isn't about the past. It's about how we move forward. It's about building better processes, ensuring better oversight, and making better decisions on future capital projects. Let me be clear. Supporting this motion does not mean we assume wrongdoing. In fact, I want to recognize the work our staff, who have continued to operate under difficult scrutiny. This is not about blame. It's about integrity. It's about showing our residents that we hold ourselves to the highest standard of accountability. And when, especially when, the spotlight is on us. As elected officials, we have a duty to be stewards of the public purse, and that means welcoming scrutiny. It means asking the tough questions, and when necessary, it means opening our decisions to independent review. By voting in favor of this motion, we are sending a message that we listen to our residents, that we take their concerns seriously, that we believe in continuous improvement, and that we are not afraid to look in the mirror and ask, could we have done better? Let's show our residents what responsible leadership looks like. Let's say yes to this motion and move forward with clarity, transparency, and purpose. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councillor Chapman.
Call the question.
Call the question by Councillor Chapman, seconded by Mayor Ash. I'm calling the question. All those in favor? In opposition? It takes 2/3. So, Mr. Clerk, I didn't see him.
You don't have to do a recorded vote on calling the question, but there's a recorded vote on the main motion.
Yes, there is. So, are those against? Because I didn't hear. This is on calling the question. Those against calling the question, hands up, please. So it carries. Pardon? Recorded vote on the main motion, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Recorded vote on the main motion is starting now. Looking for Councillor Neal online. Second call for Councillor Neal. Last call for Councillor Neal online. Thank you.
Okay, that loses. We'll move on to 10.5. 10.5, motion regard, sorry. No, sorry, we're not on 10.5, we are on 10.5. Motion regarding detailed accounting over Hanover Messe 2025 trade motion. Moved by Councillor Yamada, seconded by Councillor Nicholson. Councillor Yamada.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to speak and I'm bringing this motion, and I seek to ensure transparency, accountability, and continued trust between Regional Council, our Economic Development Department, and most importantly, the residents of Durham Region. We all understand and support the importance of international trade missions like Hanover Messe. They're valuable opportunities to showcase Durham's strength on the global stage, to attract investment, to build relationships, and to create economic opportunities that are inclusive of people of all backgrounds, abilities, and stages of life. Staff Report 2025 EDT clearly outlines the outcomes, metrics, and budget of the Hanover Messe Trade Fair. The initiative, by all accounts, was a well-executed mission with an original approved budget of $590,000. On the surface, it appears to be good news. We came in under budget by over $175,000, and we leveraged partnerships effectively. That's commendable. However, in the spirit of good governance, we must go further than just acknowledging the bottom line number. Just taking a look at the additional information that was provided in the question that I asked back at the community and growth meeting, I would have liked to have seen some numbers attached to the breakdown of the travel accommodation and other. I saw the breakdown, but I didn't see numbers attached. Taxpayers are increasingly asking us to show, not just tell, how we spend public funds. They want more than a high-level summary of aggregated figures. They want and deserve to see specifics. A detailed line-by-line accounting of the $414,000 spent on this mission will do just that. This isn't about mistrusting staff or criticizing the mission. This is about reinforcing a culture of transparency. It's about making sure we are holding ourselves to the same high standards that we ask our business community and other partners. If we are truly committed to economic development that benefits everyone, then we must ensure every dollar is traceable, justified, and in service of our goals. Furthermore, by reviewing the breakdown, we can learn from it. We can identify areas of efficiency. We can better evaluate which expenses had the highest return on investment, and we can use that data to guide future trade missions, ensuring even greater success and perhaps even more cost-effective participation next time. Let's also consider the precedent this sets. When we ask for detailed accounting today, we are making it clear that any future use of public funds for economic promotion, be it local, national, or international, will be held to the same standard. That is good governance, and that is leadership. In conclusion, this motion is not only reasonable, it is necessary. It reinforces public trust, improves our internal learning, and supports the value of transparency and inclusion that defines Durham Region's economic vision. And I would say, in closing, I've never been against economic development. I have supported, as has been pointed out, these have been supported unanimously. I just think after the mission, looking for a little bit more information to breed confidence in the public, I think is something that should be done. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councillor Nicholson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to be clear on why I seconded this motion and what this motion really is about. There's been numerous attempts today to characterize asking questions as somehow a negative response to the initiatives at Hanover Messe. Nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, trying to equate council members asking questions on the expenditure of taxpayers' funds to a yay or nay support for the project is tantamount to abrogating the respect motion we just passed. It is a very disrespectful response. Members of council have an oversight responsibility. It's right in the Municipal Act, and it's a requirement in our oath of office. When we ask questions of how money is being spent, taxpayers' funds, it is not unreasonable to expect a response. To argue that we should not be given that information, I believe, quite honestly, is a disrespectful move. Anytime we expend funds in budgets, we can ask these questions. I don't understand for the life of me why this project should apply a different standard than we apply during our entire budget process. This is simply a request for information, and I believe that information, if provided, will extremely back up the decision of this council to indicate and support financially this project. If we choose not to release the information, we could have a completely different result in the community. So I'm asking members of council respectfully to view this not as a yay or nay on the Hanover-Messy project, but simply, are you in favor of transparency of expenditure or not? And I would ask for a recorded vote.
Thank you. Councillor Chapman?
Question?
Question's been called by Councillor Chapman, seconded by Mayor Ash. On calling, well, wait till I call the vote. Okay. On calling the question, all those in favor? Recorded vote called by Councillor Leahy on calling the question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Recorded vote on calling the question, starting now.
On calling the question, yes. Now we're to the item. A recorded vote was called on the item by Councillor Nicholson. Okay. Seeing no other speakers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Recorded vote on the main motion is starting now. Looking for Councillor Wu.
The item loses. Mr. Clerk, there is no notice of motions. There is no unfinished business. Announcements. Councillor Crawford?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say that the town of Ajax had its first Ajax Waterfront Run on Sunday. It was amazing. We had over 800 registered runners. We had over 200 volunteers. We had such a great day. We had a 1K for kids, 5 and a 15K. And our charity of choice was Horizon House. So we're going to be very happily giving them a check next month. And it was just a great day. And I just want to shout out to all of our staff and all of the organizers of this event. We had a really good day.
Congratulations. Mayor Foster.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would be remiss if I did not note this. You are all well aware of it, but Durham Region and the small modular reactor build being one of 5 across the nation of nation-building projects. So we have so much to be proud of here in Durham Region. I thought we should highlight that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Sterlingly.
Thank you once again, Chair John Henry. On Tuesday, September 30th, the town of Ajax is hosting its Truth and Reconciliation Day acknowledgement. It's a day of Indigenous arts and wellness vendor market. We have powerful Indigenous-led programming, including a traditional healer, James Carpenter, storytelling by acclaimed Chief Joseph Shawana and Noreen LaBelle, and performance by Juno Award winner Megwin Snake and family. And then there'll be a candlelight vigil to honor survivors and remember those who were lost to the Canadian residential school system. And just echoing what Regional Councillor Crawford said, she was actually one of the organizers as well, so I just want to point that out. The Ajax Waterfront race was a huge success. For those of you wondering, I finished second last, so that was a great time. So thank you. Yeah, tried to get last, couldn't quite do it. Thank you, Chair.
Well, the other way to look at that is you were second from the bottom. Perfect. Okay. Councillor Cook.
Thank you, Chair Henry. This is timely given the motion that we passed regarding veterans in Durham Transit Service. This is also Legion Week, so I would encourage all members of the public and members of council to also go out and visit your local Legion and support our veterans throughout this week. There are many activities being held at all of the branches for you to enjoy, and no membership is required to attend a Legion during Legion Week, so please do support your local Legion.
Thank you. By the way, on that note, for those of us that are Legion members, our dues are due. Yes. Okay. Mayor Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This past week, and of course in the great city of Oshawa, we had our third annual Convergence event that started off on Friday, of course, went through on Saturday. If you didn't have an opportunity to come, I'm going to encourage you next September to kind of come to the event. Of course, we had 3 different stages, vendors from all across Ontario, live wrestling, believe it or not, at the 4 corners. We had a geek zone, we had a punk rock area, we had 3 stages. We had Valley as one of our headliners this particular year. Last year it was Talk, and it was a huge success. We estimate that probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 40,000 people joined us on Friday and Saturday, and I think that has been well recorded, but I'm really, really proud of everybody that was associated with it, including our tourism people, of course, the Greater Oshawa Chamber of Commerce and the great city of Oshawa, and our team there. We also are coming off an announcement that we have secured the Oshawa Firewolves, which is a professional lacrosse team that'll be playing out of the TCC. We're quite excited about this because of the significance of lacrosse, not only in Durham region, but the surrounding area. And the owners and the team itself, I've spent a great deal of time with. They are very community focused. It sounds very exciting in regards to what's going to happen. We are in the process of doing some renovations, of course, at the TCC to be able to make sure that we welcome the Firewolves. But we're excited because on November, I think it's the 28th, will be our opening night for the Firewolves. And just to let you know, I think it's going to be the Toronto Rock. So it should be a spirited game. And in the early days, just prior to the press conference, we had over 1,100 individuals that were seeking season tickets. So we expect over 5,000 people per game. We're excited about it. I think it's going to be great for our city and great for the region. And once again, it will recognize the rich history of lacrosse in our area. The last piece about this was that the owners have been very purposeful in regards to making sure that at each game and the team itself recognizes the contribution of First Nation and the significance of the region of Durham and the city of Oshawa in regards to its rich history. And so I really salute them for taking the steps that they are, and we're excited about welcoming them to the great city of Oshawa. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Congratulations. Councillor McCauley.
Thank you. Through your chair, just a reminder that September is Hunger Action Month and that all the municipalities are collecting non-perishables for Feed the Need in Durham. And I know many of the municipalities are participating, and Whippy's upping their game, so I hope you guys are ready. So bring in your non-perishables.
Councillor Wu.
Yeah, I guess good afternoon, Chair Henry. I just want to make mention, it's this Saturday, the 26th, from 10 to 12, is the Region of Durham's National Day for Truth and Reconciliation Walk. And I noticed a good friend there, Ian, McDougall has a nice orange shirt on. I think that's done purposely, but thank you. So we're starting at those. I think I. I think I heard Chair Henry will buy the coffees. We're supposed to start at 10 a.m. at Garden Street at the headquarter entrance and walk to Falling Brook. And my understanding that there is a community rock garden on the grounds of the regional headquarters. And secondly, just this past Sunday, we had our third annual Marigold Hospice Care Hiker Bike. And beautiful day, great turnout, and we raised over $122,000 on that. And looking forward to the actual opening, the ribbon cutting, October 17th. And if you didn't already know, Chair Henry, I think you've been asked to speak, and certainly Mayor Foster at the opening. So looking forward to that. But again, those that showed up on Sunday to raise that amount of money for the hike and bike, congratulations, everybody that was involved. And I want to give recognition to the one that started the first, Leo Blindenbach, who now is a resident of Whitby.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you.
Mayor Jubb.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just want to acknowledge and invite everyone to Culture Days are continuing in the Township of Brock, and it's on this Saturday from 10 to 4. And you can find us at the Cannington Area Historical Society or the Beaverton Thor Eldon Historical Society. We're looking forward to this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. That exhausts the list. Members of council, cybersecurity is something that we take very seriously, and October is Cybersecurity Month. Looking to our commissioner to say it is October, right? It is. So the moral, or what I'm trying to say, is don't get fished. Mayor Ash.
Are you ready for the bylaws, sir?
I am absolutely.
Okay, it's moved by myself and second by Mayor Burton that bylaw numbers 2025-031 to 2025-034 inclusive be passed.
On the bylaws. All those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's moved by myself and second by Mayor Barton that bylaw number 2025-035 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Regional Municipality of Durham held at their meeting on the 24th day of September 2025 be passed.
On the confirmation bylaw, all those in favor? Opposed? That carries. Councillor Steve Lee, could you give us some, Mr. Clerk, motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn, please.
Can I second that, Chair? So we have moved by Esley, seconded by Esley.
On adjournment, all those in favor? In opposition? Seeing none, that carries.